Now, the last piece of the observer pattern is the ability to remove observers or allow an observer to no longer get notified of changes that are being made. And there's two things we need to add to our observer list in order to make this happen. One is the ability to remove at a spot. And we're going to add a method, remove at, that takes the index, say, hey, I want to remove at this, and then splice our array by removing one item at that index. Now, the other thing we need to know is where that index is. We have to be able to find an observer in our list. So the way we're going to do that is with an index of function. And we're going to basically just loop over our observer list until we find something that is equal. And we're used triple equal, so it's the same thing. I'm looking for something that is the same instance-wise and everything of this object. And so when I find this object on my observer list, I'm going to return that, and then I'm going to splice it out. So let's, on our observable task, add a remove observer. So observable task, and our method name is going to be remove observer, and we're going to take in what that observer is. And the functionality here is really quite simple. We're going to take those two methods that we just created, we're going to drop them in here. So we're going to remove at wherever that observer is. So we're going to look for the index of that observer, and then we're going to remove that observer from the list. Now let's try that out and make sure it works. So down here at the bottom, I've got my 3 at observers, and then I'm going to do my save. I'm going to do a task1.remove observer. And let's remove our auditing service, because that sounds like a bad idea and you never want to remove auditing, but we're going to do it anyway. And we're going to run save again. So now the first time I run this, I should see all 3 get updated. After I've removed an observer, I should only see 2 get updated. So let's try that out. There we go. So the first time it saved, you see notifying, logging, and auditing. And that all worked. Now the second time it ran, after we removed the audit, you see now we just have notifying and logging. So it removed successfully. That's the observer pattern. That's how this whole thing works. I've got 3 things that want to be notified when a change is made. And essentially, I'm just adding a function to a list of observers that our task is executing every time a change is made.